drops. He knows about the sparrows. Come on now. I want you to know I wouldn't trust another God. I don't want nowhere near. I don't want to get in front of myself. But just like I tell you, y'all ever go to the horse races? And you ever see one of them horses, one of them thoroughbreds? They ran. They come out the stall ready to run. And all they want you to do is put him in the stall and say, go. And that's it. I'm grateful to be here this morning. I serve a true and living God. And I hope you know him like I know him. He is alive and well. He's still sitting on his throne. And it's my belief that he's getting ready to come back. And if you ain't ready for him, you need to get ready. Be ready when he comes. Because he's coming back real soon. Yes, sir. God bless each and every one of you. I thank the Lord for the opportunity to be in your presence this morning. And I want to try, if I can, edify you a little bit about the beginning of your new year. We talked earlier this month about how to have a successful and a prosperous new year. And we came to you from the first chapter of the book of Joshua, when it says that Moses, my servant, is dead. Be strong and of a good courage, and you will find success. One of the things he told Joshua to do was to follow his commandments. Move not to the left, nor to the right, but follow what he had written. And then we talked about what the requirements were for his commandments. And we found in the book of Micah, chapter 6 and 8, and in Ecclesiastes, that the conclusion of the matter is that you must love justice, do mercy, and walk humbly with your God. If you walk with God, and he is a righteous God, you need to keep his commandments. And then thirdly, we said that Jesus, when he came after the Old Testament, had delivered us the 10 commandments. Jesus told us in the 13th chapter of John and the 15th chapter, a new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another. That if all 10 of them were good, roll them up into one. And that one would do you good. You love me, you won't hurt me. You love me, you'll see me in need, you'll come to my need. If you love me, you'll even put yourself back at the end of the line and try to move me up front, because that's a demonstration of love. So what I want to do this morning is to continue in that same vein, so there'll be no excuse for you not to have a good year. That we need to understand that if love is the summation of the 10 commandments, what is love? How do I define love? And what is love in our lives, one for another? So I want you to understand that man defines love one way, but the Spirit defines it in another way. You know that if you go to the dictionary, you'll be looking under folk who have gone before. Now, I want to tell you very clearly, this came out the book. I don't know Wikipedia or Google and all them other folks, so I have to go to a book and look my stuff up. The book says that love is a deep, tender feeling of affection toward another person. A feeling of intense desire and attraction toward that person. Love has, by definition here, to do with emotion. But I beg to differ with Mr. Dictionary. Who is he? Webster. Yeah. I know that from my gospel training that there are 3 loves. Amen. And I want us to understand this morning that there is eros, filial, and agape love. Amen. 3 different forms of the same item. Amen. Your least significant of the 3 is eros. It has to do with feel good. It has to do with emotions. It is where the word erotic comes from. And eros has to do with physical feeling. And is the least of these. Filio is the word that is the basis of the city of Philadelphia. The city of brotherly love. Human beings ought to have a tying feeling one for another because we are human. We're the same species. You ride by and see an automobile wreck and see folk laying on the side of the road. Something ought to move in you to have compassion for that and say, Lord, I hope they're all right. You don't know them. You're not kin to them. You can't recognize the car, but that's another human being. And you ought to have some concern for their well-being. When people run into a burning building, risk their own safety and the chance for them to get caught in the fire, to snatch out somebody from that. That's filial love. It says sometimes that love means I'll do something that even my physical loss might be at risk. But I want to tell you this morning about a third kind of love, brothers and sisters. That agape love. That love that has unconditional love with it. Love where God is the source and the origin of it. And I want to stop here and tell you, I do have a text. I don't believe in coming to you without some scripture. So let's pause right here and go to the first book of 1 John. John the Revelator is in the back of the Bible. His works are back there with Jews. He is the same John that is, we believe, the author of Revelations. Excuse me. John chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. And if you don't have a Bible, make sure you get a Bible today because we're going to move through scriptures. 1 John 4. 1 John. I'm talking about John in the back now. Don't go to the gospel. 1 John 4, 7 through 11, and then 18 through 21. You find it, stand, and let's say, I got it, Pastor.